Welcome back, guys. You can hear Larry outside probably. He's the one with the 2019 Mustang. He's got one more mod here for his car, so we'll get it installed. If you haven't already, go back, check out the other videos we have with this car. There's quite a few now. And hopefully you enjoy this one as well. I'll flip you around and show you what he's got. Alright, car's in the garage. We got her jacked up. Larry's under there, hard at work already. Can see all the little bolts because today he's installing this MMD front splitter on his car. So basically there's a couple, I think there's 3 clips on each side to get the fender lining out of the way, and then there's just a bunch of push pins, and you can see all those bolts, which I'll kind of show you under there. It'll be hard to see, but if you look at their little instructions, all the red circles, that's for the actual splitter. And then those are all the bolts and pins on the belly pan that you have to get out of the way, because of course those ones are under these. So he's almost got that done. But pretty much if you look at the stock splitter, this is the Performance Pack 1 compared to this, which is more like a Performance Pack 2. You can see you got this extra lip here. It's all molded into one. I like that about it. And then the whole thing overall is wider as well, but you'll see that once we get the other one off. So we'll let Larry keep going, and once we get that out of the way, we'll show you what they look like. Alright, under the car, clips you got to get out. You can see one here. So I know it's a little close up. This is your fender liner. You got one push pin here, one in that hole, and then the other one is there right on the end. You get that off, because then this will drop down. And then all these, you got 7mm bolts all the way around. There's one more push pin here you gotta get off. And then, like I said, there's 1.5 million of these little 7mm. They're along the back here, and then all along the front of the car there's a bunch more. So make sure you get all those off, because this has to come off before the rest does. Alright, so he's got it off. Just keep in mind, he learned the hard way, these things pick up a lot of dirt. So if your face is under there, when you pop it off finally, you're going to get a face full of sand. Just keep that in mind. You can see there, and there are your push pins, and then you also have one in there. So that are what you got to get off first. Then you can see those 4. You got 2 here. Same on the other side, and then all along the front here is all 7mm screws. You got to take all those off before you can get the front lip off, because there's more bolts under there. So once you get the belly pan off, the rest should be good to go. Alright, with the belly pan out of the way, to get the actual splitter off, you can kind of see this one here. I got one out already. There's 3 push pins on each side. Be the same on the other side. And then these are the bolts that are hidden underneath. That's all 7mm as well. Just take all those all the way across. Same thing on the other side. Get those all out. You got 3 more push pins there, and then the front splitter will just fall right off. Alright, if you're looking to go Mad Max, this is where you stop. Just leave it as is. And if you're going MMD, this is where you keep going. Basically, this is the factory one sitting on top of the MMD. So you can see quite a bit wider all the way around. Definitely, obviously, the big lip there. Same with the front. You can see if we line up the back here, you gain about 1/2 inch, maybe 1 inch over here. Slightly smaller in the middle, but overall she will look pretty good. Only thing you got to do now for the new one is these metal clips. You get a little flathead in there. Let's see if I can do this. Just come in here, grab your flathead, and you just push those off. This one might be a little too small, of course, but basically you get the gist of it. Those all come off all the way along, and then you reinstall them on all the points corresponding with that one on the MMD, because that's where your little bolts will thread in. Also, if you look here, you can see the ones for the splitter are just slightly shorter than the ones that held the belly pan on. So just keep those all separate so you don't get them mixed up. Alright, so now that I got a bigger flathead here, all you gotta do, you can see it's like a little notch that just holds it in the hole. Get your screwdriver under there. Just give it a wiggle. Make sure that notch is up. You can see, just like that, pops off, and then easy peasy, you pull it off. If you look in there, that's the little focus. You can see just the little bit down there. That's what locks it in place. Put on the new one, push on. It's not hard at all. It'll click, and you're good to install it. Clips are installed. Now we see if Larry can get this on his car. From what I've watched on other YouTube videos, it's a pretty solid fit. Fits just like a OEM part. There's little tabs in there that'll hold it in place long enough for you to get under and get a couple bolts started. But roughly, that is what she'll look like. So we'll get her all bolted back together on the ground, and then we'll take another look. One more thing to note, the push pins, because I'm horrible for mixing everything up as I go. You can see you got one big one, one little one. You should have 6 of these little guys. That's for the actual lip on the corner, the 3 that you see in there. And then the fatter ones are the ones that held the belly pan on. So that'll be the 3 on the corner here and the 1 in the middle. So you should have 8 of those. That will hold it on underneath the car. And then these obviously go on before the belly pan goes on, otherwise you won't be able to get to them. For anyone wondering what the washer was for, it's when he went to he's got it kind of rigged up to hold his license plate on there, and he dropped that into the abyss through the grill, and it went into Gone Forever land, which is AKA in your belly pan. So once we took that off, free washer. So the new splitter's on. You can see kind of here, 1, 2, 3, your push pins are in. Those are the smaller ones. The new splitter comes with all the same little tabs and everything. The bolts go in the same spots. It all fits. You can see there's some here. These ones are a little bit of a pain to get to because it's under like your actual, there's another little rubber piece here. You can see that all gets in the way. This little thing gets in the way to get an impact and gun and stuff in there. Just make sure you fold this back down when you're done. We folded it up just to get it out of the way. But like I said, all the tabs line up, screws, holes line up, the little push pins line up. Everything's good to go, good as new. So once you're at this point, you just get your belly pan back in there, and same thing. These ones you didn't take off obviously, but all your screws go back in there. A couple push pins over here. You can see this one is actually still in there so we don't lose it. And then just reverse order, get everything back together, and you're set. So when you get to the point of putting the belly pan back under there, most of it's held on by screws, which, you know, if you're trying to hold this with one hand and get the screws in, could be a bit of a pain in the butt. So basically, the front here is held by the lip, so that's not going to drop. You just slide it in this way and it'll hold it. Then your best bet is to put your push pin in there, and that'll hold the back up, and then you're free to go. Because those 4, those 2, and then all these ones along the front are your screws. So once you got the push pins in, it's all held up. You don't have to worry about it leaning, flopping on your face. You get a ball back together, and then 3 more push pins over there, and 3 more there. And after that, you should be good to go. Just about got the belly pan back on, and in the pack comes these 8 more little screws. Got the washer head on there. Looks like the factory ones that come out. Basically, if you read their little instructions here, step 6, you can see some vehicles will have extra 8 speed clips installed. That's what those 8 screws are for. So basically, once you get your belly pan back on, which is all those, I'll go under the car and I'll show you. There is 8 extra spots. That's just for wind because this is quite a bit thicker. You're going to catch a lot more downforce, especially at high speeds. It'll end up possibly ripping it right off the car. So they send you 8 more just to kind of beef it up a little bit. But like I said, I'll jump under the car once he's out of the way and show you where those go. Alright, so what I was talking about with those 8 extra bolts is your ones you pull out, they all go in like these little cutouts. You can see all the way along. That's where they go. And then if you look on the end, you have 1, 2. Those were also on the original one. But if you look closer here now, if you look up in the hole, by speed clips, they mean it's got the little steel clip in there. So you have 1, you got another one there, 2, 3 here, and then you'll have 2 close together side by side in the middle, or here. And then basically that's 4 on one side, 4 on the other side. And like I said, that's just because this is so much wider here, it's going to have a lot of pushing and pulling on it. So that's just a little bit extra to beef it up. And I would say make sure you put those on, because if you're going high speed for sure, you're going to end up ripping it off the car. Okay, there you go, all installed. She's out. I don't know how well it will show up in video, but it's a lot wider than the PP1 was. But the fit is all perfect, just like it's stock. Everything tightens up nicely. Make sure you put those 8 extra bolts along the bottom just to hold it in. And then you should be good to go. Alright, the driveway test. You can see that side sits a little higher. We jacked it up with the MagneRide. It'll sit a little higher for a minute until he drives a bit. Pretty dang close, but he does make it. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a pretty good little slope there, so I say it's all good to go. Well, there you go, guys, another mod down. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.